Okay guys, welcome back to Links London, the Links London headquarters. It's freezing cold, hence the hat and the jumper. It's the middle of winter here in London at the time of me filming this. Cold and dark. But this evening, I thought I'd give you a little update on Links London, and tonight we're talking about charms. Now, I've got this collection of Links of London charms here. Hopefully we're going to repair, restore, clean and polish and have for sale in the Links London store. So what I thought we could do is talk a little bit about charms, past, present and future, the past of the history of charms, in particular a little bit of history of Links of London charms, the present, what we plan to do with this collection, and there's more, I've got more, and the future, hopefully what Links London can make. So charms are nothing new. They've been around for thousands of years. When archaeologists dig up jewellery, they dig up charms, and people historically wore them for the same reasons people wear them today and have worn them throughout history. And when I was putting together this little collection of Links of London charms, I was hoping to find some catalogues or brochures, either online or on online marketplaces, that would help me catalogue them and put them in the store. And there's a few online, but actually dating them is actually the challenge. It's not you can find the publications, but they're not dated. I did, however, find this book titled Charming, The Magic of Charmed Jewellery, and this was actually co-authored by one of the founders of Links of London in about 2005, and it's quite an interesting little book, The Charm of a Charm. Now, the chapter titles of this book, actually, the reason I'm looking at this is these actually are some of the many reasons people historically wore charms and still wear them today, and that is magical talismans, spiritual devotion, just for luck, love tokens, style and sensibility, and milestones and celebrations. And the list of reasons is endless, but that is some of the more common reasons. So magical talismans, we've probably got some here. So, and some of these will overlap. So a good example of that would be a little Santa's stocking for a child. That is a magical talisman. They're hoping to get it filled up on Christmas morning. I mean, I know those traditions vary depending on what country you are, but you get the idea. Spiritual devotion. So we have a cross charm there. What else have we got? There is an angel there. Although that might come into, again, these overlap. Is that an angel or a cherub? It could be both. What else have we got? Just for luck. Now that comes into that. It also doubles up as a magical talisman. The 4-leaf clover. People wear those for luck. Love tokens. We have a love heart, polished love heart. And again, that one that I was wondering whether that was an angel or a cherub. That, I think that's a little. Well, it's a little angel holding a love heart, so that is could be a love token. Style and sensibility. So for style, we've got a shopping bag there. We've got shoes, a bikini, even a bikini top, sunglasses, more shoes, milestones and celebrations. Now for that, we've got initials here. You can get dates, so 18s and 21s for milestone birthdays. But a friend of mine, actually, when I was talking with them about Links London and Links of London, they pulled out an old sweetie bracelet, an old charm bracelet which they'd had for years. It was very tarnished, but they had, my friend's wife had her children's names, initials, and her husband's initials. So, and I think one of them was, I think she said one of the charms was when the child was, it was a gift. The charm was a gift when the child was born, with the child's initials, which are now adults. So yeah, those are the many reasons. people historically wore charms and still do today. Now, to say charms were in fashion, it's hard to describe them as being in fashion, because that would suggest that they weren't popular before they came into fashion, and then when something is in fashion, it then invariably goes out of fashion. And charms have, like I was saying, have been popular for thousands of years, and they're still popular to this day. However, there was a moment where there was a trend, and jewelry trends last a lot longer than fashion trends, whereas fashion trends can last just a few seasons, season if you're lucky. Jewelry trends tend to last a few years, and there was a period around 2010, give or take a few years, and it built up for a few years and it carried on for a few years afterwards. And it wasn't that charms were in fashion, it was Pandora and Links of London Sweetie bracelets were in fashion, and they are, well, I'm not sure they were intended to be charm bracelets, but they were used as charm bracelets for that during that period, and they were in fashion. And Pandora's are slightly different. They're like a snake chain, whereas the Links of London, their popular one, the fashionable one to have, was the Sweetie bracelet, but they did traditional style open curb link, their take on a traditional style charm bracelet. The traditional ones were generally an open link curb, similar to this, but for many years, if you'd have gone into a retail jeweller's and asked for a charm bracelet, you'd have got something resembling this curb chain, but with a heart, padlock and a safety chain through it, because invariably they, with the weight of the charms, they would spring open, so they had a safety chain. But yeah, that was for decades, that was the traditional style of charm bracelet, and they're still popular today. But yeah, around 2010, there were queues out the door of Pandora and Links of London shops, and again, it was a different time. It was back then, online shopping existed and was popular, but I'm not even sure, even to this day, if, I think I did read somewhere that online shopping exceeded in-store shopping in general. I think it was 2019. So I would have thought it would have exceeded much, but I think some things skew that, because if you include motor vehicles, which are obviously a high value purchase, and you have to, it's not, there are probably, you could probably order one online, but I think most people go and do that and collect them in person. So yeah, some things skew that. There are probably some things like books that it switched to online years ago, but 2010 and around that time, there were queues out the door. And that's not to say people weren't doing the research online and then going to the shops, but yeah, these were in fashion. And in fact, a lot of the ones I'm repairing and restoring now we can date them from that period. A lot of them are from 2000. The earliest one I've actually come across so far is about 2007. So yeah, there's a lot from 2010, 11, 12. I found quite a few from 9. So you get the idea, that period. Now, what I've been doing and what I plan to do is we're getting these and I'm restoring them, and I think what I'm going to do is catalogue them as well. So I'll not only put them in a store, I'll use the pictures, because there's not that much information available online about them anymore, as Links of London ceased to exist on high streets in 2019. I'm not sure how much information they had of the back catalogue online anyway. I think they might have changed the collections quite frequently, but we can go through them now, photograph them probably better than they could in 2010 with a phone. Now we can do better photographs now with a phone than they could in 2010 with like a high resolution camera. So yeah, we can photograph them, clean, polish, restore, photograph them for the store, but simultaneously, because we can date them, and also we now have AI, so we can get AI to go through the entire internet, read every blog post from the period and website, and collate as much information as there is about each charm. And having said that, I had one that I was cataloguing for, that we'd cleaned and polished, and we were cataloguing from the shop, and I couldn't find an original listing for it, an original sales pitch for it as such, or photographs. And some people were selling it as a clutch bag, and it did look a bit this rectangular box with a bow, and it could be a clutch bag. I'm still not entirely sure right now, but then I found other people selling it as a gift, a bow wrapped gift, and I think I'm going with gift. But I'm not sure. I'm still not sure which one it is. So we'll photograph it, and even the AI is undecided as well. So there are many bag charms, and I don't think it looks more like a gift than a bag. So yeah, hopefully we can catalog. Hopefully we get, at some point I'll get my hands on some old books and brochures if they ever were out there, and that will hopefully help. And that's what I was hoping this book would help with actually. But this is from 2005, so a lot of them came out after this book. So that is, though, this is a Links of London charm bracelet I've got with the charms. I'm actually going to take the charms off this. They've been hard soldered on to this charm bracelet in a strange configuration. But yeah, that is that charm bracelet, although be it that's a gold or gold vermeil one. And I've even got some of these charms that are on this bracelet from 2005 have arrived in some of the batches we've got. But yeah, so we've got all these charms, clean, polish, get them in the store, catalogued, build up a little online catalogue as well of what was available. But rather than just, I'm sure there are people like my friend's wife that's got these. She had a broken, well, I'm not sure it was completely broken, but it was certainly stretched, and it wasn't wearable in its current form. It was tarnished and old. She had a sweetie bracelet with these charms. The charms have sentimental value, but it's just in a drawer. And what I think it'd be cool to do is, obviously we can restore and sell these, and we can restore and sell sweetie bracelets. But I also found this is a version, this has sweetie links on it, but it's not a full sweetie bracelet. But this has got 7 on it. I think if we get the intellectual property sorted out, what I think it would be cool to do is make bracelets, and possibly even necklaces as well, with 1, 2, 3 sweetie links, like so. And then people can wear their original, if they've got original charms, we can supply them with some silver dip and a cleaning cloth, and they can give their sterling silver a little clean. We can supply them a new sweetie link bracelet or necklace with 1 or 2 links, and they can just wear their one, or they can then dig their charms out that have sentimental value and give them a new lease of life, either as a charm on a bracelet or as a pendant on a necklace. Because I'm sure a lot of these were bought and worn certainly by young girls, and I'm sure there are some that went shopping with aunties and grandmothers and family members that are possibly no longer with us. And yeah, it'd be nice to give they probably don't really know, they can't wear them, or they're not in a wearable condition. They don't want to get rid of them, but it'd be nice to give them the opportunity to have a new lease of life. I mean, obviously we can sell them a restored version, but if they've got the original one, we can supply them with cleaning products. They can clean up their original charm, because these were split ringed on, so you can they can remove these from their either, well, if they've broken it might remove themselves. So yeah, they can take their original charms, clean polish, or they can have them professionally clean and polish, and then we can provide them with a slightly more modern take on the Sweetie bracelet and Sweetie necklaces, and they can give their charms that have some, not all of them, some of them might have just bought for fashion or because for fashion's sake, but I'm sure some of them are out there and they've got huge sentimental value and nostalgic value, and rather than wearing them all, they can just pick one or two, and they're actually, because they split ring on, they can you can interchange them. But that's if we get the intellectual property. Yeah, if we get the intellectual property sorted out, it'd be cool for us to make, or not, they're not even sort of reimagine a Sweetie link bracelet or necklace, so original Links of London customers can enjoy their charms once again. We can also remake the Sweeties on elastic. However, back in the day, these were more expensive than the competitors like Pandora, and there was I think it's Thomas Sabo, one of them as well. Just because of this design, it's a heavier weight bracelet than the ones that are made out of snake chain. It's a heavier weight design. It's a more complicated design to manufacture, and that means it's a more expensive option. And Links of London went bankrupt for a reason. That was possibly one of the contributing factors, that their designs, they didn't scrimp on materials. They could have, but they didn't. Even the charms, they are much thicker and heavier than I imagined they would be, because I was working in the jewellery trade when these were around, but these are 2-3 mil thick. If they'd have wanted to, there's some of these charms could have been hollowed out. Certainly the heart ones, they could have, using modern techniques, they could have made the charms hollow. They could have made them thinner, but they didn't. But then back then, precious metals were a lot less expensive than they are today. Since these were in their trending days, metals have increased substantially, percentage wise. So these were an expensive option back in the day, and now they're considerably more expensive because of the price of metals, and they're quite substantial designs. I was actually pleasantly surprised at how good they are. But we can easily, well, when I say easily, we can remodel these. We can what do you call it? Vulcanize them. We can make new masters and recreate them, no problem, if we need to. So yeah, waffling now. Quick look at charms. They were a big part of the Links of London business. We're restoring as many as we can get our hands on. They'll be in the store, and as we restore them, we will then catalogue them on the website, because to sell them, we've actually, obviously, which was the exact dimensions weren't on the original website, so we can take weights and measurements and more, and higher resolution pictures than were used back in the day. Build up a catalogue of charms, and hopefully, if we get the intellectual property sorted out, the trademarks, we can make Sweetie Link bracelets and necklaces that will allow original Links of London customers with charms that potentially hold significant sentimental value. They can clean and wear their original charms. Right, I better get on cleaning this lot and make some more coffee. See you in the next video. Toodles.